This is how to change the convection fan blade in the SPK 500 Southern Pride Rotisserie smoker. It also applies to the SPX 300 and the MLR 150. You need a 5/16 socket on an impact or a ratchet to undo these two far left bolts. Once those are out, door is free. We can just swing it open and have access to our blade. All right, we've got our door open. Now we can access the blade itself. Of course, the smoker's unplugged for this process. What we're looking for is that set screw that's on the hub of the fan blade.
Once you have the 5/32 Allen seated properly in the set screw, go ahead and unscrew it. You'll have to apply quite a bit of torque to get this done, but once it snaps loose, give it 2.5 to 3 more turns off of the shaft to clear it so it's easy to remove the blade. The next tool you need is a pair of vice grips or a pipe wrench to fasten onto the drive shaft of the fan. And when you have that secured onto the drive shaft, I don't want you to pull the blade off to the right. I'd actually like you to rotate it against the rotation of the shaft to free it up after being built up with dirt and creosote inside the smoker. And you can just twist it off the end after that, take it away and clean it, and replace it with the clean one that we supply with every smoker. To reinstall the blade, just reverse those steps, making sure that the set screw is on the right side of the fan blade when it goes back on. Also making sure that it is tightening down on the flat part of the drive shaft, not just on the round side of the drive shaft. And make sure the hub is flush with the end of the drive shaft for the fan. Tighten it down really hard and you're back into operation.
All right, now that we've seen how to change the fan blade on our smaller rotisserie units, the 150, the 300, and the 500, we'll do the same thing on some larger ones. This is an SP700 mounted on a trailer, and it's the same process as the 1400 for changing our convection fan blade. It's accessed from the center of the unit, behind this shroud. Tools required for the job are a 7/16 socket on an impact or a ratchet, a 5/16 box end wrench or a small crescent wrench, a pipe wrench or a pair of vice grips, and a 5/32 Allen wrench to get to the cooling fan blade that's on the back of the motor. Let's get into it. There's two 7/16 bolts underneath this shroud, and when we pull these out, we'll be able to lift this up and off the unit. It's important to note that the unit is unplugged right now, so do not complete this task with the unit plugged in because there's a chance the fan will fire up if someone's at the front of the unit. And it's just a dangerous thing we don't have to get involved with. The bolts are out. I can put the tools down and this shroud will just lift up and off, nice and easy. We put that off to the side. Our next step is inspecting the cooling fan blade. So we can see it's seen some weather, it's a little bit dirty, and to get this off, we're gonna use that Allen wrench. It's a 5/32. So we come in from the side, we find the bolt. It's a set screw right on the shaft. Make sure the wrench is seated really well in the head of the bolt. Give it a good twist. Make sure it's loosened right off, and this will slide right off the shaft, like that. We can send that into some degreaser, give it a scrub in the sink, or replace it with a replacement fan like this, which we're gonna do today. And on this end of the motor, we put the hub of the fan blade toward the motor, so the back should be flush, not this way. The other thing we wanna make sure of is having this set screw set down on the flat part of the shaft that's to the right in this video. So I'm gonna have this going on just like this. And we want it flush with the end of the drive shaft. I'll take that same Allen wrench, get it in here, and tighten it down. You saw how tight it was coming off. I'd like to have the same kind of torque on it when it goes back on. And I'm just lining up the set screw with that flat spot perfectly so we can have it secured. Give it a good twist, and that's not going anywhere. Next step is to open up this access door. So you'll notice there's 4 bolts here. These are 7/16 bolts again, and there's 2 hinges here. As soon as we unsecure those 4, the door swings open. We can see our large convection fan blade. Okay, our door's ready to swing open. And that is a well-used smoker. Time for a change on this one. Every Southern Pride smoker comes with a spare fan blade. It's located inside your burner compartment, which is just here to my left. That compartment is held together with two 7/16 screws as well, and that's where you can find your clean fan blade for rotation. I have one already pulled out here, ready for install, so let's get this one taken off. The pipe wrench is going to go on the drive shaft of the fan. I'm going to secure it on there, get this turned around to where this set screw is. The 5/16 is used on the head of the set screw. And that loosened it off, nice and easy. Now, I don't want anyone to pull on the fan. Your first step is going to be to rotate it against the pipe wrench to loosen it up on the shaft. Just like that. And the better we can rotate it, easier it's going to come off the end. And I'm just twisting it slowly so we can get it right off the end. It's usually a pretty good fight like this, but we're almost there. It's free. Bit of a fight, but you can expect that with a dirty smoker. This thing is used well, and it's time to keep our airflow clean. So put that off to the side. That can be dipped into a degreaser, pressure washed off, or scrubbed in your sink. Given how used and dirty this smoker is, I'm gonna bring in one more tool that is required only when it's at this level of dirtiness. And that's a little piece of used sandpaper or something that has some abrasion. And we're just gonna clean off the tip of the shaft here so that the new fan blade can go on nice and easily. So we have it nicely rounded. All the dirt is off it. So we have the shaft cleaned off nicely with the sandpaper, and let's see how easily this new fan blade goes on. Again, I'm aligning this set screw with the flat spot on the drive shaft, and we just secure ourselves with the cooling blade on the back. I'm gonna slide this on with a little twist and get it just so that the end of the drive shaft is more or less flush with the fan blade hub, and the hub is out in this orientation. So if you notice, the hub on both fan blades is facing toward the front of the smoker, this one and this one. Now all we have to do is just hand tighten the set screw, grab our little 5/16 box end, give it a really good tighten down, like this. I'll give it one more from the top. And that is secure and ready to cook. It's very important to keep a clean fan blade for two main reasons. Number one is airflow. If a fan blade is rough and covered in dirt, it doesn't move air very well. So we like to keep it clean, and so that we have a really nice even airflow and good cook quality and consistent results. The other reason is if this builds up too much creosote and build up from inside the smoker, it will be unevenly weighted, and you'll eventually damage the bearings in this motor, causing replacement over time. So let's just get it buttoned back up quickly. Reverse those steps to do this. So that's how to change the convection fan blade in your large rotisserie Southern Pride smokers and your small rotisserie Southern Pride smokers. We have an entire series of maintenance videos on our YouTube channel that cover daily, weekly, monthly, and annual maintenance. Check them out at youtube.com/Kendale Products.